Alright, so what is going on YouTube? I know it's been a very long time, probably since you guys seen a video from me. Probably literally almost 4 months now, but I figured it'd be a great time to get back in the prep series for the upcoming Nationals. So I am currently registered for Powerlifting American Nationals, registered as a 120 kg lifter. Obviously, I'll be weighing in probably about 112, 113. But today, we got a sort of special video for you and a major announcement to make for you guys before we get into our training. So let's see what we got. Okay, so with that being said, obviously you guys know, I've probably talked about this supplement company probably hundreds of times across all my videos. You always see it in the background typically too. Same thing with the Fairlife, but this is a little bit different. This one's a little bit more exciting for me. Alright, so here you go. Just recently, Gorilla Mind has opened up their ambassador program, and thankfully, I was grateful enough to get accepted into this program. So thankfully, I do now have a code with them too, but we'll get back to that shortly. We did end up getting our own Gorilla Mind ambassador shaker, as well as an ambassador t-shirt. So I'll probably be training with this on today too. I'm very, very excited to finally have this opportunity because this is a company that I've been involved with since they came out back in the day. So as you can see, we got the little Gorilla Mind ambassador right here on the corner. Then on the back, we got the full logo. So I definitely think we're going to be training this. So let me go through this on really quick. I finally tossed it on. I did end up going a size bigger just to be safe because I was going to be really pissed if I got this shirt. It was going to end up super snug on me. But it does look like a nice loose, it's pretty tight in the shoulders, chest region. Just baggy in the areas you want it to be. But with this being said, it got Gorilla Mind ambassador. Congrats. You're officially a Gorilla Mind ambassador. You earned it. This isn't about fitting in. It's about standing out. It's about proving what happens when strength meets focus. And here's how we need your help. Use the product, show it off, and share your authentic experience with your audience. Together, we'll continue to grow Gorilla Mind to new heights. And obviously, as I've said, I've been buying products from this company literally since they launched. Whether we're talking about the original nitric or something as simple as their Gorilla Mode Free, and hell, even to some of their newest supplement lines like Lightning. Alrighty, so now the rest of this I did end up purchasing myself because currently if you go on GorillaMind.com, they have up to 40% off site-wide. So I picked up a hell of a lot of supplements. So obviously finally got myself a case of the new Tiger's Blood. That's a new revamped flavor too. I've always been a fan of Tiger's Blood since the get-go, but I'm excited to try their new revamped flavor. I think a big complaint people used to have about it is that the coconut was just so overpowering. So I'm excited to see. I might actually just take one for my training sessions today instead. With that being said too, we went ahead and got the blueberry muffin, Gorilla Way. Now, I will say too, one of the special things about Gorilla Mind's protein as well is there are some digestive enzymes in there that help your body deal with some of the lactose, obviously, in the protein. Because if you guys don't know, whey protein is basically just dehydrated milk. It's a fancier way of saying it. And then I got a bunch of samples as well too of chocolate peanut butter, really cheap. So I figured I'd snag some. I actually went ahead and got 3 bottles of Gorilla Dream because I tell you what. Being a powerlifter, having a full-time career, it's very, very important that I make sure I get the best recovery possible. So stacking that with the CPAP, mouth tape, breathing strips, it goes a very long way. And then, of course, probably my favorite supplement they have to offer, Gorilla Mode Lightning. Blue raspberry, it's a fantastic flavor too. I haven't actually tried, because I do believe they have a mouthwatering watermelon in that line as well too. I just have not tried it personally. But I'm a huge fan of that flavor specifically. We just had some more samples there, and I think the last thing that we got from this order, I believe, is liquid glycerin. Alright, so just to go over it again, three bottles of the Gorilla Mind Dream, Lightning. I think there's almost a dozen sample packs here, as well as the whey, liquid glycerol, and energy drinks. So, big order for me. Typically, you would see me stocking up on these anytime they have big sales, which is quite frequent. Now, with that being said, too, if you guys would like to, obviously, I'm not going to force you to go take an order, but if you decide to, like I said, they're 40% off right now on GorillaMind.com, up to 40% off site-wide. You use my code, you still get that 40% off, and you're directly supporting me. So I would greatly appreciate that. I will see you guys at the gym. Alrighty, so we made it to the gym. I pretty much did all my dynamics already. I started bringing in a stationary bike as part of my warm-up. Just sit there usually for about 5 minutes, getting rolling on that. And then I'll typically do a couple dynamics to get the hips, lower back, shoulders loosened up. Feeling pretty solid so far. Obviously, I won't have a great gauge until after I get under this bar. But I tell you what, it's almost crunch time. We got 15 weeks until the day of nationals. So that's incredibly exciting, but also incredibly nerve-wracking because, as you guys know, I'm coming back from a back injury. I will say I'm not 100% like very stressed about it at this point. I think we've made a absolute shit ton of progress since we started, really getting training momentum rolling again. Both bench has been going great. Squat has been going fantastic. Deads has been kind of back and forth as recently, but it's just a matter of what I end up taking on squat. You know what I mean? Is what I have left for the day. So that's kind of the give and take with doing a full primary session. But with that being said, let's go ahead and bring up the program today so I can give you guys an idea of what the game plan is. So obviously my coach typically prescribes specific load selection and prescription for each session, not necessarily RPE. Obviously, an ideal week 1, you're probably looking for 5-6 RPE anyways, maybe 6 to 6.5 on the single for bench press. But we'll be doing singles on both bench press and singles on deadlifts, and we'll be doing doubles this block on squat. Now, do I expect to hit any PRs this block? Absolutely not. What we're gonna do is we're gonna try to just continue to beat the last block. So we're just doing our best to create the best amount of momentum as possible. That way we have a shit ton going into meet day. Because at this point, we're probably gonna spend at least this block and maybe even the next getting back to top end strength before we even really think about putting anything crazy on there. But let's get rolling with bench warm-ups. I kind of figured you guys probably don't need to see anything below 308, right? Final warming. All right, time signal for today's session. We got 360 pounds. Now, obviously, typically it would be either 58 or 63, but we do have the half-kilo clips on either side. I will be purchasing competition collars here soon. Currently, the ones I want are sadly all out of stock, so we're gonna be waiting a little bit on that. But top single for the day, we are taking bottom end of range just because I want to be as smart as possible with my pacing of this block. So at the end of the day, I do not need to take more than this. And taking more than this is unnecessary. And this is something I have to tell my athletes a lot of times too, is that top range is meant for if you're feeling aces on the day. And you know what? Chances are, especially after like a bigger week 4 and some really high bench volume and high intensity, I'm not gonna feel like that, and that's okay. So that's exactly what we're gonna do today. We're taking bottom range, and we're gonna make this move, okay? Because at the end of the day, I wanna take as minimal as possible to get me to that week 4. All I'm doing is trying to prepare myself. So that's what's important at the end of the day. We did exactly what we wanted to with that top single. It moved incredibly easy. It was very casual. So I'm happy with that. So now we're taking our 3 back downs at 297 pounds is the prescribed load. It's gonna be 299, 300-ish due to the extra kilo that we have on there. I could load exactly that, but I was said, it's close enough for today. So we'll take this for 3 sets of 5. Only gonna show you guys the first one, just because at the end of the day, this is really, really easy work for me. It's just volume, so you guys know exactly what we're trying to get out of this. Alright, so I know I didn't show you guys a fuck ton of warm-ups by any means, but we are already at 374 pounds. So we'll be going up to between 429 and 440 today. I think I'm gonna do the same thing I did with bench, and I'm just gonna take the low end. Not because I don't feel I can perform at the top, but I wanna take as minimum as possible to be able to catapult us in the next week. So this will be final warm-up. I just gotta find a good angle. It's really, really hard to find a good angle here because I can do kitty corner, but I feel like that's a little bit less personal. So let me go and find an angle for you guys and then we'll get rolling. All right, hopefully this angle works out for you guys. Like I said, we're taking 374, technically it's 376 in the bar, but who cares about counting that last kilo anyways, right? You know, it feels really weird wearing stiff sleeves, especially on week one. I'm usually a big voucher of trying to avoid using stiff knee sleeves, especially on early weeks of training. But right now, I think me and my coach have both agreed that it'd probably be best to make our training as easy as possible. The numbers that we have to hit as easy possible leading into our big weeks of training, just to try to make sure that the body can handle the stress of it. You know, once the body's in better shape, and by body I mean my back, then we'll try to get back into using soft sleeves full time. But until then, here we go. What we gotta do, we have to make this top set just as light, just as casual as that final warm-up. Obviously, I'm not really too concerned. This is a weight I've probably hit for literally close to 15 reps before. But obviously, sometimes you just need to detach yourself from the numbers and focus on actually rehabilitating. So that's what we're doing. We're focused on getting that momentum rolling again. That way, come nationals time, we can really test the water to see what the body can do. Obviously, I would love to see a big total PR at nationals, but at the end of the day, I need to not focus on that. I just need to focus on getting back to 100% as fast as my body will allow me to. That's exactly what we need to do. Exactly what I said I wanted to, I made it happen. All right, so you guys are probably gonna look at this and go, what the fuck is on that bar right now? So right now, oh, actually, I'm happy I just said that because I totally realized I have an extra red on this side. But anyways, the point is, I was planning to load 386 pounds. But since my lower back downs are at 369, I decided I was going to put the blue on and load up the change to get to 386. That way it'd be easier for me to get to the 369 for my lower back down. Just for convenience sake, just to load less plates. But since I fucked this up, I have to unload that, reload that, and then we'll get back to it. And then it was a waste of time altogether. Casual. You guys probably already know, we did a fantastic job hitting exactly the goals that we did during squat. I think everything moved to a T exactly the way that we wanted it to. So right now I will say, obviously the back of the hips, they're a little beat up. We can tell that they've done some work, but it's okay, you know. Going into deadlifts, I really have there's no prescribed range or anything. It's just completely feeding off of RPE today. So we're looking for a top single at RPE 5. So I have no idea necessarily what that's really going to look like. We're just going to have to get into it and start making things move. So we're probably going to jump from here to 330 pounds. And then once we do 330, we'll probably try to figure out an idea of where we want to go. So very happy with today's session so far though. Speaking to my coach, because I honestly had no idea really where to go for today, we're going to take 374 as potentially the final warm-up. It may end up being the final set. Obviously, we're looking for RPE at 5, so this really should move almost effortlessly off the ground all the way to Luckow. So we're going to start with 374. If we do end up moving it very well, we will go ahead and jump, but it'll stay below 400 pounds. So maybe 386 and 396. We'll see what happens, but I don't want to get set any specific numbers. I just want to make this move and go from there. 396 pounds, well, 398 technically. I already went over that, but taking this for our top single for week 1. So after talking to coach, we're looking to try to break into the 500s again for the first time, and since meet day actually. So I'm not gonna lie, it's a little intimidating to think to break back into the 500s again. It's crazy how that was like a typical, week 2, week 3 number. Something I could, triple hit for 4, and now it's a number that I'm even afraid to hit. But that's okay, you know what I'm saying? I think the best thing I did was detach myself from numbers and just try to focus on making training feel good. So that's where we're at. If we can hit 500 at a comfortable RPE and the body holds up well, then we're going to smash it. But we're going to have to set that up first. Alright, so you guys may be questioning, what is this for? Typically, I just use this to check up how my positioning looks as I'm initiating or executing the actual deadlift. So biggest thing is I'm trying to make sure that there's no weird arcs in my bar path. I'm trying to make sure that's as vertical as possible, trying to keep that bar in line with basically back of my tricep / armpit area, all the way through my setup and to the rest of the set. So let's use this to try to make sure. Good. Alrighty, so what is up, guys? Obviously, you know, we've probably announced some of the biggest news that I've had in a long time, and we've also put up a pretty damn good session. Obviously, I will say, to be fair, these numbers are not some of the numbers you've seen from me prior to the injury and the last meet, but at the end of the day, this is where I'm at right now. And, you know, I've done a good job these last few months of just kind of detaching myself from the numbers and just going out there and performing. So obviously, you guys have seen me just recently hit 523 for a squat, for a triple, and that's the biggest squat you've seen me take probably literally since August, like 10th or so. I don't know the exact date off the top of my head, but it was about, when I hit that, it was about the heaviest squat I'd done in 14 weeks, so 3.5 months. With that being said, too, obviously you guys have seen some pretty big benches from me, you know, ranging from 402 to, you know, even a 424-pound attempt. And then deadlift, honestly, deadlift's been kind of wishy-washy as of recently too, just because it just depends where my back is. I need to make sure the training that I'm doing is just smooth. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to be pushing the bodies necessarily to its limits right now because I'm not 100% confident that it can take it. So with that being said, I think my heaviest deadlift since the meet has been 463 pounds for a triple. And coming from somebody that's deadlifted 255 kilo, you know, 562 pounds, it's rough. You know, I'm definitely far away, but we're working towards it. We're trying to get back. As for goals for this block, realistically, if I could make 407 on bench fly. As far as squat doubles, if I could hit like 551, I think that would be really, really cool for me right now. That would be very, very huge. And then as for deadlifts, honestly, if we can just crack into the 500s or close to it, I'd be incredibly happy. I don't have too high goals right now. I just need to get close. I need to get within arm's reach again of those numbers. Those numbers you've seen me compete at top end with. So that's just the journey we're on right now. And as of right now, as of today, we are 15 weeks, like to the day, out from competing at nationals. So we've got a lot of work to do. But at the end of the day, I'm incredibly excited. Don't get me wrong, I'm intimidated, I'm nervous, but I think those feelings are okay as long as I'm being smart about the way I'm allowing myself to feel them. You know what I mean? It's okay to have those feelings. I just need to make sure they're not in the way, you know? So I've been incredibly happy with training, and I'm happy to bring you guys back into the mix so you can see my training, see how everything's going, you know, as far as warm-ups, back downs, whatever the case may be, just for you guys to see where I'm at mentally as well. But we have a lot of big things coming up, a lot of positives, so I'm just very happy. I'm in a very good place with training, and like I said, within the next block or two, hopefully we can really start to shine again. But until then, we're just still going to continue just to work. You know, this is important, and if it's important enough to you, you're going to do what you need to do to get back to 100%, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So if you guys did make it this far in the video, I greatly do appreciate it. I know we didn't put up any crazy total today, but it's just a start point. It's a stepping stone. This is where prep really kind of begins. So we got work to do, and that's all I can say. So again, once again, if you guys made it this far, thank you very much. Of course, as you guys know, the Black Friday sale is going on for Gorilla Mind, as I mentioned earlier in the video too. So if you guys happen to be grabbing an order, you can use my code SDF at checkout to receive that same massive up to 40% site-wide discount, and I'll get directly supported by that. So if you guys do, once again, thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next SBD. See you later, YouTube.